This is the point. It's reached a stage where the so-called diplomats of the Chinese Foreign Service are now saying the Morrison government is insane. I mean, sticks and stones. This is just juvenile talk from China. Juvenile.
Look, it is, Gary, and Bronwyn and Daisy are totally correct. The naked expansionism of China threatens Australia. Let's be clear about that. It really does. We have in Papua New Guinea, we learned this week that China would be building a $40 billion industrial city, B for billion, $40 billion industrial city in Papua New Guinea. And it's only, you hop in a rubber boat and it's only 3 hours north of Australia. Now, this is in the Torres Strait. Australia, we import 80% of our oil refined in Singapore. It goes through the Torres Strait and, hello, China will be right there controlling all this stuff. They have a blatant disregard for the rules-based international system. We've seen that with the constant militarisation of the South China Sea. The rest of the world passes down all these rulings and judgments and says, oh, what you're doing is illegal, but China doesn't care. They'll just keep dredging. They'll just keep dredging. And this is the real issue. And what we have to, Gary, I think, our viewers must be aware that the next big issue which will take place is Taiwan. Where will sleepy Joe Biden stand on Taiwan? And that's why it is good that Australia is actually, I think now, leading the pushback on all this stuff. We can forget New Zealand. We should be getting rid of them in Five Eyes. The foreign minister over there has absolutely no idea. They're the weak link in that security partnership, and we should be welcoming a country like Japan. And really, we have to start calling China out, and well done to Peter Dutton for doing so.
Absolutely, and Bronwyn, defence spending's up. The budget's next week. The leaks are coming out, but the headline read that defence spending was now at a per capita the highest since the Cold War. Can people actually start to understand? I mean, you and I do, Daisy and Jake, I'm sure, do as well. And it seems defence officials have now woken up from their own personalised bunkers. They've been bunkered like Joe Biden, as far as I can work out, or hunkered in their bunker, because we now actually are in another war-like situation. The war has started. It's cyber attacks. It's this territorial advance. And Jake's right, the PNG thing, the Darwin port thing, there's all these things. Peter Dutton is nailing this stuff, absolutely correct with what he's doing.
Absolutely it is. But there was one thing that really alarmed me in that piece from the Herald Sun, talking about a guns before butter budget. Now that is totally the wrong analogy to make at all. The guns before butter policy was developed by Hitler's National Socialists, because after he set up monopolies, closed down small business and sent the country into great debt, the plan was that he would conquer the rest of Central and Eastern Europe, and the Eastern Europe plan was to enslave the people and murder millions of them, and that by seizing their assets and having slave labour, that's how they get out of the debt, and there'd be room for the greater Germany. That's what guns before butter was all about. That was about aggression. That is not ours. Ours is defence. What we are saying, if you look back in our history, we were so ill prepared for the bombing of Darwin. Our equipment couldn't even aim straight at those sorties as they flew over us. We have now got a defence minister who is a realist, who started to make all the right noises, and I can tell you, as I was Australia's first defence industry minister, and I can tell you that the need for a lethal force and an understanding that our troops have one job, and that is to be lethal and to defeat enemy. That means killing the enemy if necessary. That our defence force is there to defend the nation. It's not there to be a social experiment or to set new rules about social conduct. It is there to be trained to defend our nation. It's its single and only job. And so it's very important that we then give them the equipment with which they can do it. I just remember so much the first thing I had to do when I took over that portfolio We had the Bushmaster was the contract for that very excellent vehicle we now have. And yet when I asked, was it able to withstand a mine blast, I was told, oh, no, Minister, that's not the way. And my ADC at that stage said to me, it's just a taxi, ma'am, it's just a taxi. Well, I made sure it wasn't just a taxi. We changed the specification. And it has to be hard-nosed stuff to get things right.